with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Mark Solday. Let's get you a mid-morning check of some of the stories we're following here at Erie News Now, beginning in Afghanistan, where the race continues to get Americans out of that country now, of course, under the control of the Taliban. President Biden now saying for the first time U.S. troops may have to stay in Afghanistan past August 31st. That's if all Americans can't be evacuated out of the country by that time. Wednesday certainly brought more chaotic scenes at the airport in Kabul, Afghanistan, where the evacuations are proceeding slowly. Thousands of Americans still are trying to get out of that country. The Pentagon says it can fly out up to 9,000 people a day, but those people would still have to initially get past those Taliban checkpoints just to reach that very troubled airport this morning. Down in Haiti on your Thursday, the death toll has now climbed over 2,000 from Saturday's earthquake there, 7.2 magnitude quake, almost 10,000 more people injured, and it's left hospitals across Haiti overwhelmed with patients. Search and rescue efforts in some spots being hindered by a lack of resources and some heavy rain. Drone footage that you're seeing here only showing really a fraction of the damage down in Haiti from this earthquake. More than 135,000 families impacted by the tragedy. Well, new this morning here in Pennsylvania, the biggest teachers union is now urging school districts across the state to require face masks within school buildings. We're talking about the Pennsylvania State Education Association, more than 180,000 members. Although the union cited the Delta variant connected spike in COVID cases. The CDC is recommending masks in schools, but so far, the state officials in here in Pennsylvania are encouraging but not mandating masks. Now, the teachers union president says masks are going to be essential to keeping in-person learning going throughout the entire school year. Statewide, the number of COVID cases has nearly doubled in the past 2 weeks, up to an average of about 2,000 per day. School districts all over making decisions on how they plan to handle the COVID-19 fight, trying to slow down the spread of the virus within their classrooms. This morning, our Elena Jonathan talks to the principal at one of Erie's Catholic schools, Blessed Sacrament.
A layered approach is the best approach, and so that's exactly what we're doing.
A multi-layered approach to prevent the spread of COVID-19. According to Blessed Sacrament Principal Jane Wagner, this worked for her school last year. They plan on implementing 3 feet of spacing between other desks and those walking around in the hallway. Other things like hand sanitizing and encouraging students and staff to wear masks is what Wagner feels will help slow the spread the best.
Last year, we're in the classroom, making sure everybody was socially distanced, the desks were spaced. We did the same thing in the hall with pause on the pause, so the students knew where 6 feet apart was. Those are all still in place. Cafeteria is going to be socially distanced.
Wagner says she's proud that her school had very low case counts. She thinks these protocols they followed last year will help in keeping students and staff safe from the virus.
It worked last year. All the things that we did worked in keeping any kind of COVID spread from happening in our building. And it's not that we didn't have students or faculty that did contract COVID. We did have cases, but it didn't spread in the classroom.
It's our Elena Jonathan reporting there. Meantime, the Biden administration's announced a plan to require nursing home staff to get vaccinated, and if they don't, their workplace could actually lose federal funding. Here at home, the Brevelier Village nursing home was in lockdown mode for months during the pandemic, but they are now allowing visitors in once again with vaccines readily available. Now, since this new vaccine mandate for nursing home workers is really just come down, Brevelier Village leaders say they've yet to decide how they're going to handle it.
Having a loved one in long-term care or personal care is a difficult decision to make, and when you have the added pressure of a pandemic or illness, it makes that transition even more difficult. What we can do is ensure the safety and the well-being and the compassionate care that we are providing for your loved ones.
That federal mandate that nursing home workers get vaccinated expected to kick in next month. Erie Second Harvest Food Bank teaming up with Erie Housing Authority. It's an effort to get fresh produce to some folks on Erie's east side a little later on today. It's their Produce Express. It's coming to the Erie Eastbrook Apartments this afternoon, a free program designed to get fruits and vegetables to folks who otherwise may not have access to those sorts of foods. You can get a hold of the Housing Authority to sign up for today's produce giveaway. It's set to start at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Again, happening at the Eastbrook Apartments. They're located at East 19th and Whitley Streets in the city. those gardens may be humming right along with all the rain that we have been seeing lately.
Yeah, we've been kind of flooding out some of those gardens, unfortunately, but we will get a chance to dry things out over the next couple of days, managing a little bit of sunlight out there with our Bayfront cam. We certainly have the humidity up there, and if you're going out to Presque Isle this afternoon, maybe taking the kids on a one final beach trip, well, we're at 76 degrees right now. We do have more clouds than sun out there. Temperatures working their way up. We're in the lower and middle 70s. 76 here in Erie seems to be the warmest spot on the map, although Dunkirk's there as well. Lake temperature at 76. Back there in the mountains, right around that 70-degree mark. Weather impact index for today at a 1, just because of that spotty shower potential. We got more of those clouds, and we certainly have the warm air in place. As we look at visible satellite, we are certainly opening up a little bit more sunshine, but look out over the lake. A couple of showers trying to develop, and we could see a few out there into the mountains of Warren County. We're also watching this right here. This is Henri. This is kind of an interesting storm. It's taking a very, very interesting path. It's actually been moving south, but eventually it will turn more towards the north. Models really struggling with this. You can actually see the previous track coming on in, almost making like a J, and it will loop around, almost make a U, and you can see that the track is getting wider and wider as it gets a little bit closer to New England, and this will kind of play part in our weather. It will at least affect some of those weather systems farther to the west, but there's a lot of uncertainty here. It could stay well off the sea, or it could impact portions of Rhode Island, Massachusetts, out there towards Nantucket and Cape Cod. This is taking us into early next week, so we've certainly got our eyes on that right now as we check things outside. We are, again, dealing with some of those scattered clouds. They're kind of bubbling up a little bit more, and we do see that chance for a couple of showers are starting to develop on Doppler max across southern parts of Chautauqua County, northern Warren County. Futurecast for us today, maybe bringing in a very brief shower before we get to lunchtime, and then during the afternoon, any additional activity, more so going to be away from the lakeshore. You notice we've still got enough clouds in place, but we start to eradicate some of that cloud cover, and with clear skies and light winds, that will actually allow a little bit of fog to develop to start off the day on Friday. You'll notice during the day we're getting more sunshine. Certainly going to remain a bit drier overall. Your zone outlook for today, as we go county by county, we are expecting temperatures to warm their way close to that 80-degree mark with limited sunshine today. Maybe a very spotty shower showing up into Crawford as well as Warren County. We're starting to see a few of those showers try to blossom as temperatures are warming up. We'll talk about the extended outlook in just one moment.
First, though, get ready for a brand new Girl Scout cookie coming onto the Scouts menu for next cookie season, you could say. The Adventureful cookie going to join the nationwide lineup for the 2022 cookie season for the Girl Scouts. It's a brownie-inspired cookie, they say. It's got caramel-flavored cream, a hint of sea salt. Yeah, here you can see a look at some of the more popular Girl Scout cookies. Thin Mint's up at the top of the list. Girl Scouts across the U.S. going to offer up these Adventureful cookies starting next season, putting them right up alongside some of those Thin Mints, the Samoas, and the tag-alongs. That's my favorite, the tag-alongs. Peanut butter cookies, can't go wrong with that one. You got a favorite Girl Scout cookie, David?
I really haven't had one in a while. I like Thin Mints. I like to
in the freezer, out of the freezer, either way?
I've never actually tried them in the freezer before, but that sounds really good.
Yeah, you got to do
really
that,
good.
for sure.
All right, yeah.
Other ones next year, the Adventurefuls next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like trying something different. Yes. As we look ahead over the next couple of days, you'll notice that lower and middle 80s, we are pretty consistent with those temperatures overall. And you can see as we get into next week, still lower and middle 80s. Pretty limited chances for those showers. Not really seeing much as we venture into the weekend. A few more storms out there on Sunday. A very weak front will come on through. And next week, yeah, kind of depending on how Henri moves, that's also going to dictate how our upper level pattern is. And so that will kind of dictate exactly how much we see on the rain front. Right now, not looking at too much, maybe some showers towards Wednesday. So we'll definitely have our eyes on that second half of the forecast. But in the meantime, it is warm and it's certainly humid out there.
All right, thank you, David. We will do this NOWCAST thing again about the same time tomorrow. And, of course, we're on the air at 5 a.m. for Erie News Now Sunrises Friday edition. We'll see you then.